Hello friends, welcome back to my channel English with Shyam sir, and I'm Shyam sir talking. In this video, I'm going to explain the article that came on June 18th, page number 8 editorial column on the Hindu newspaper. And the headlines of the article says playing with fire. The headlines of the article says playing with fire. And this is a very easy to understand article. Very honestly, there are no too many difficult vocabulary in this article and very easy to understand article, no doubt about it. So playing with fire is the article I'm going to explain. Before I start the analysis of the article and explain the content in the article, I have to tell you a little background. Already most of you must be aware of the big issue happening all over the country. That's a national issue it has become. Like the government of India has introduced Agnipath, so which is which is the new process to recruit the people for the armed forces, and that has become a we use the vocabulary furor. Okay, so that has become a big agitation now. And I think now when we discuss this article, I'll tell you one thing very clearly, my dear friends. This article, playing with fire, has very bluntly, very openly, very clearly opposed the government's stand. That is for sure. This article has mentioned some points also to prove that this new idea laid down by the government is not that good enough. So for this reason, what I'll do is I'll also try to add a few of my personal opinions to this content provided in the article, because my ideas and the content given in this article are 100% the same. Right, so I'll make it very easy for you. First of all, point number one, what is this Agnipath? It is a new process laid down by the government of India to recruit the people for the armed forces. Generally, non-officers, to appoint, to recruit the non-officers, to recruit the people for the non-officers cadre into the three wings of the armed forces. It's now going to be a common recruitment process, that is Agnipath. And this Agnipath is now very controversial for one big reason, that is the candidates who are recruited for this, the candidates who are recruited through this process will be having the job in their hands only for 4 years. After the 4 years, only 25% of the candidates will be retained, and the other, that is 75% remaining people, will be sent off. They will have, of course, different options, but at the end of the day, 25% people only will be retained in that armed forces, the rest will be sent off. Now, another big problem is usually the actual tenure of an armed person will be around 15 years or plus, and also with a lifelong pension and other support, other provisions. But the people now who are recruited through this process will have only 4-year permanent guaranteed tenure. After that, the services are uncertain, and also the other provisions that a usual armed person so far is getting, this process will not be giving that provision. Of course, there are some benefit kind of things, like for example, by the time they leave the services after 4 years, they will be provided with around 11.7 lakh tax-free amount, kind of cash. In addition to that, they will have other accident kinds of benefits and all that. But at the end of the day, if you compare the benefits and the provisions that usually the people are getting, usually the armed people are getting now, if you're comparing with this, the new provisions, yes, no doubt they are far quite away and also disappointing. And more importantly, my dear friends, it is clearly mentioned that this process, the new process laid down by the government, is going to commence in 90 days, within 90 days, and the government is going to recruit around 46,000 youngsters in this process. So the government says that this is a very important decision taken for some good reasons, and there are a couple of reasons laid down by the government which are not really convincing, because the government itself openly mentioned that cost cutting measure, that itself is the most biggest disappointing factor for anybody to get convinced. Now this is the idea of the government. Now, what are the reasons why some people are agitating? Whether be it the youngsters who are applying for the armed forces job, or any common civilian who is agitating against this. Let us first of all talk about the youngsters, why they are agitating so ferociously. So whether their vandalizing or destroying the public property is right or wrong, 100% wrong. Nobody would support the agitations when they go violently and damaging the people's money, wasting the people's money. That is definitely condemnable. But beyond that, why are they agitating so ferociously? Reason number one, we all know what happened during the COVID pandemic time. Many employment opportunities have gone in vain. Life need for survival has been the biggest challenge. So unemployment is always there to kill the people. Number two, this now new process of recruiting the people just for 4 years is quite an uncertainty, because the candidates usually go for armed and defense forces, armed forces with a lifetime vision, because they may sacrifice their lives also for the country in the process. Now when somebody tells that your job is a contract job, naturally there is a sense of insecurity about the career. Especially the candidates who are going to join this will finish only 10th standard and then join this armed forces, and after 4 years what can they do is a big question. Of course, from the government's departments, yes, there are clear points mentioned, put forward, explaining the career options, but still no doubt they are not convincing, because we already know the present way of recruiting the people, and 15 years guaranteed service, then immediately followed by other career options. But there is a difference between 15-year guaranteed secured service and just 4-year guaranteed secured service. And after 4 years is an uncertainty. At the age of 23, 24, 25, searching for a new job or preparing for any other government exam, that too with the 10th class qualification, is not that feasible for anybody. This is one reason why the agitators are agitating, especially the students or the youngsters. Now when it comes to the other people, other sector like common man, common civilian, why are they not very much willing about, why are they not happy about this new process? For 3 major reasons. One reason, the government has mentioned cost cutting. Yes, no doubt, already disinvestments are happening everywhere in the country. No doubt, inflation is huge. No doubt, COVID has killed the Indian economy. Still we are surviving better than many countries, but not positive. The rates are increasing. No doubt, cost cutting is important. But should the cost cutting happen in the case of military, in the case of defense? Should the cost cutting happen in armed forces, especially during the times when China is a big threat to India in many ways? Especially when our enemies all around are waiting for an opportunity to invade and intrude. Is this the right time to go for a cost cutting in this domain? Why can't the cost cutting happen in other domains? Or is this the only option available to cut the costs? Is people's life, are the people's lives not more important than economy? This is one reason why most of the civilians are surprised to see the stand of the government. Reason number 2, my dear friends, reason number 2 is, any youngster now who joins these armed forces through this Agnipath scheme will be there only for 4 years and then come out, correct, if at all. Now what is actually happening is, can we expect this youngster to have the patriotism? Because when a youngster knows that he is going to be there only for 4 years, after that may or may not be there, can he work with the same patriotism to die for the country when he knows somewhere in the subconscious mind that his job is a contractual job? So big reason, big disappointing fact is, how can we introduce an employment guarantee scheme or a contractual process for the armed forces? Doesn't it affect his patriotism towards the country? Point number 3, my dear friends, there is also a sense of fear that anybody who is working with the armed forces for 4 years will naturally get to know the confidentialities, secrets of the Indian Army and other defenses, correct? Defense services. Now after 4 years when he comes out, there are many chances, obvious chances that those confidentialities and secret things might be let out, or there are chances where he might join with antisocial elements because now that he knows what is happening over there, the working style or the confidential things or the military secrets or whatsoever, which is indirect, which is directly again a threat to the Indian security. This is something mentioned in this article, my dear friends, called Playing with Fire. No doubt, my dear friends, Hindu paper, June 18th, page number 8, editorial column, Playing with Fire article has blatantly and bluntly opposed the idea laid down by the government, especially using the word, it has condemned very openly the word like cost cutting and nation building. And yes, this article has also some points mentioning why some people are supporting this, and he has mentioned clearly that BJP supporters are supporting this without knowing the harm actually that can happen from this process. Okay, that's all, my dear friends. I think this article is a very easy to read article, easy to understand article, and yes, I want you to read it now. If you don't have this article with you, if you don't have June 18th newspaper with you, yes, I will try to share this same article on my Telegram channel, English with Shyam sir. If you haven't joined, you can join in the Telegram channel, English with Shyam sir, where I'm going to share the same article, soft copy with you, so that you have watched the video now. I believe you understood, and now you read the article is going to be easy for you. Before I wind up the video, just 3 points. What is this Agnipath article? What is this Agnipath scheme? Simple, I have explained. Number 2, why is the government putting forward this scheme onto the implementation on the paper? On the implementation, government believes there are some advantages. Number 3, there are more disadvantages than advantages. No doubt there are advantages as far as the government argument is concerned, but more than the advantages, there are disadvantages. That's the reason why this is a debatable point laid down by the government. I tried my level best to explain this in a very simple way, my dear friends. Now it's your turn to read it and understand it. I will be happy if you keep commenting in the comment section. I will be glad to see your messages and comments, and I'll be happier if you read this article, then comment your ideas about the article, whether you have understood it or not. I'll be waiting for your comments, my dear friends. If you like the video, if you like the video, like it and share it with your friends. My intention is only one: reading ability, comprehending ability should improve, and I am working hard to make that process easier for you. I am doing my job, you do your job. Success is inevitable. Wish you good luck and all the best. Read this article. See you in my next daily editorial analysis. Signing off, you Shyam sir. All the best, my dear friends.